Hi, this is EJ with a reading for the sign of Virgo for the month of February 2017. I am going to do a general reading, and then Virgo, I'm going to move right into a love reading. I've already shuffled and laid your cards out, so I'm going to go ahead and get into your reading. So the first card you have here is the Tower. And the Tower, as you can see, it's chaos. It's everything falling apart, everything being explosive. And in this reading, in this general reading, I'm seeing that you've been blindsided about something. The signs were there. All the signs were there for you to see, and then you chose not to see the signs. And now you have a setback. You have a setback in your plans to move forward. You have a setback in your goals because you were blindsided. I'm seeing something with work. I'm seeing that some of you have been laid off, and some of you have been, I don't know, I'm getting hours cut for some reason. I'm thinking it's retail or something, because that is what I'm getting. I'm sorry, but that's the message I'm receiving is, hours have been cut, layoffs have been happening. You were blindsided by something. You presented a project and someone else took the credit, is what I'm getting. And you see how all of the people are falling out of the building, and it's just, chaotic. It's awful. And you're feeling horrible, as you should. I mean, none of those situations are nice situations to be in. But, you did see the signs there, and you got the unexpected bad news, and that had put a setback in your plans to move forward, your plans and some goals, is what I'm getting. And then we have the King of Cups, and with the King of Cups, you need to have strength and confidence in this situation. Everything, it'll work out. I'm sure you've heard that before, and probably are saying, you're not in my situation, but I've been there. I've been in worse situations. So have confidence, have faith, believe that things are going to turn out right. Be strong. You need to pull your strength out and be that king, as you see here, or queen. But this is a king card, so it's really the strength of a king. So we need you to have that strength to pull out of this rocky situation here. And then we have the King of Wands in reverse, and the King of Wands in reverse is you're unhappy how things turned out, and you're lashing out. You're lashing out, and your behavior because of the situation here is unbearable. You're being irresponsible. But again, Virgo, you need to have that strength. Do not act irresponsible. Do not act irrational. That's not going to solve anything. It's not going to, put back the pieces. It's not going to rewind. It's not going to do any of those. So just face it. Hit it straight on. Have the strength to keep walking. Walk forward. Just as you see this king here. You do not want to be like this one upside down. You don't want to be irrational. You don't want to be unbearable. That's not, I understand you're being unhappy of all of the chaos that happened here. I understand that, but you need to have that strength. Go within and pull that strength out. And then we have the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands is saying the same, it's the same thing. It's, you're putting your defenses up, you're upset, you're having about all these issues here, you're being irrational about it, and instead of fighting, you see him fighting with everyone there. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Move on with the calm approach. Move on with that strength that this card is, the King of Cups is telling you to do. And King of Cups is emotions. Cups is emotions. And that's what you need. You need to have that strength to pull through from this chaos, to pull through from being unhappy, to keep you from fighting and being in this situation here, being unhappy, Virgo. So go within, pull that strength out, because you can, anybody can do it as long as you put your mind to it, right? All right, so now I'm going to get into your love reading, Virgo. And with the Tower card, You know, you were in a relationship and for some reason it just went cold. It just went dead. The person stopped calling you, stopped talking to you, stopped texting you, stopped everything. And you were wondering what's going on? Like it all of a sudden stopped. Like just no phone calls. Virgo, don't be that one to keep obsessing over that person. Don't call that person. If they didn't call you, if they weren't brave enough or mature enough, I should say, to call you and say, hey, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out. I'm going to go my separate ways. Then they're not meant to be in your life. Because if someone cannot communicate with you and someone cannot, respect you enough to speak to you and tell you how they feel and how they no longer want to be in the relationship, then you don't need them in your life. And with the King of Cups, there's problems in that relationship. So maybe it's best that they don't call you and you don't call them, because I see that there's problems in this relationship that you had here that just went cold. And you're wondering why. Why did it go cold? Well, the only person that can tell you that is that person. And if that person doesn't have that respect enough to tell you, then you're never going to know unless you harass them. But you don't want to do that. Stalk them and make them tell you. But honestly, you don't want to do that, Virgo. Just be strong. Pull that strength out. And then with the King of Wands is that person that you thought you fell in love with here. All along you knew that they were untrustworthy. You know, they were kind of flaky. They were not responsible enough. As you can see, look at this card. They're all over the place. You knew that from the beginning, but you had a blind eye to it. You had a blind eye to it because you wanted to give that person the benefit of the doubt. Because you thought or maybe you do love that person. But that person, look at how they are. That's them. All chaotic. And how's that going to leave you unhappy, upside down, unhappy? That's not the type of relationship you want, Virgo. And with the Five of Wands is, there's been arguments in that relationship. There's been arguments about plans in that relationship. Or maybe you had plans with them and they just stopped calling you because they didn't want those plans. They were just telling you that just to keep you happy, Virgo. Just to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go with them. Just let them believe whatever. And then I'm just going to be all chaotic over here. I'm just going to stop calling. I'm going to stop texting because I don't want to move forward with those plans. And that's exactly what they did. That's what they did. And guess who's unhappy? You. You're unhappy. You're hurt. And where are they? They don't care because they're irresponsible. They're irresponsible and trustworthy that they can't be truthful enough to tell you, I didn't want those plans that you wanted. But they led you to believe that. They led you to believe that, Virgo. And that wasn't even the case. And I'm sorry that I'm so blunt, but it's better to be straightforward than to sugarcoat anything, because otherwise, how are you going to understand the message if I sugarcoat it? So, Virgo, that relationship, yeah, say goodbye to it. Yeah, say goodbye. I pulled an Archangel Michael card for you, and there it is. And it says, keep your eyes on your target intention. The prayer is, thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me focus on my inner vision and intention. I ask you for your guidance in releasing any fears or doubts, granting me the confidence and courage to take action toward realizing my dreams. Again, there's your confirmation in your general reading as well as your love reading. In your love reading, obviously it doesn't look, it's not favorable, but if you can get past this chaotic person, then you can find that smile back within you, and then you can focus on what it is that you really want, Virgo. I'm going to list my email address below if you'd like to have a private reading.